Okay, let's do it.
Attention. Hull failure imminent. All personnel abandon ship. Launch in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Subnautica. Mistakes will be made. Try not to die. Okay. So taking a break from the regular. This is Subnautica. I did a Challenge Me Tuesday where I took on a Reaper Leviathan in a prawn suit with a drill arm.
You have suffered minor head trauma. This is considered an optimal outcome. This PDA has
And,
now rebooted in emergency.
Subnautica is a survival horror
to keep
game.
you alive on an alien world.
Well, survival
Please
horror
refer to the
crafting
data
or
bank for
horror
detailed
elements.
survival advice. Good luck.
There's no real weaponry in this game. Just funny. Because the developer had an issue with gun control laws. This is a story I've heard. So he's trying to make the players understand that you don't need guns to have a good outcome. Or survive, something along those lines.
The Aurora suffered orbital hull failure.
But I've beaten the game twice before.
Zero human life signs detected.
And this is gonna test my sanity and my patience. Despite having done it before, still gonna test me. So right now, mostly looking for limestone, stuff I just broke. Limestone quartz in there, but gotta keep an eye on your oxygen meter. That's your life pod. You can hang out there for a little bit until you start learning how to fabricate your own base, or you start making your own base rather. And
Copper is an essential component of all powered equipment. Your probability of survival has just increased to unlikely, but plausible. Detecting sulfur deposits in the local cave systems. Sulfur is an essential component of the repair tool. Oxygen.
Okay, I know where I am, sort of. Not... Shit. Wow. You're kinda slow to jump, weren't you? Nice. Sandstone, very helpful, very important.
Oxygen.
Oh dear. If you run out of oxygen before the water, you start blacking out, and eventually you pass out and die. here.
New creature discovered.
Quartz, plenty of that.
Silver-based wiring kits are an essential component of many habitat modules. Oxygen.
Go.
New creature discovered.
Fine, go this way.
Alien life forms may have unexpected applications. Utilizing alien resources is a proven survival strategy.
Yes, yes it is. So right next to my O2 meter, which is over here, health, hunger, water.
New creature discovered.
Your first hour should be mostly about grabbing the basics and learning the game. So don't get too caught up on everything that's out there. You need to know about it, but it's not going to be the end of you. Waterproof locker, which is basically useless since you can't convert it back, and you can make bigger storage space eventually. Sure. Why? Okay, that's alright. So let's get some food. Store the stuff. Don't need it just yet. Your life pod does not have infinite power. It's solar based. They carry a charge. And that. Oops. Yeah, whatever. If you end up doing a lot of fabricating at night, the batteries won't charge, so you'll kind of be stuck. Anyways, so I need, there we go, kelp forest. So the best survival technique in this game is to know what you're trying to accomplish and do it with speed, and then get the hell out. Because you will just kind of cause problems otherwise. So I see you, Stalker. Go away.
New blueprint acquired.
Unless you come across a group of
Life on this planet grows.
a group of stalkers at once that all decide they want to try and take a bite out of you at the exact same time, minor damage they'll give you. Minor damage. The biggest threat in this game comes from asphyxiation due to lack of oxygen, depth crushing, and not paying attention to your health meter around potentially dangerous creatures. So, right here. So if you had low health and one swimming around as a stalker and it bit you and you died, that would be pretty pathetic, honestly. Tools, fins, yes. That. acid mushrooms. 2 acid mushrooms and a copper will make a battery. Battery. Okay, some tools, survival knife.
New blueprint acquired.
Primary.
Weapons
Scanner.
were removed from standard survival blueprints following the
Number
massacre
2 slot.
on Abraxas Prime. The knife remains the only exception.
And
The scanner can be used to
Fins.
synthesize blueprints from salvage technology
Auto
and
equipped,
Cordalian biological
which
data.
improves my
The
swimming
fabricator
speed.
draws from available data to provide environment-appropriate equipment using locally available materials. For your safety, this setting cannot be overridden.
Alright, this is your blueprint page, your inventory blueprints, beacon manager, which is also map. Well, it's map and then beacon manager. And you can change your beacons from color to color. Photos, so if you take screenshots, you can use photos. Only real use for that is when you're finishing the game, you get a chance for a time capsule. Your voice log, so anytime you play a message or the game talking to you, it'll show up here. And data bank will go over anything you come across, and typically for scanning, other times for PDAs and things you encounter in the game. So let's see that. Air bladder. Air bladder is not a bad idea. Don't feel forced to use it though. Okay. Inventory. There's nothing. Oops. Nothing in my inventory to justify. Why is the game telling me to look at? Don't know. Okay. So now I can go looking around somewhat. Nighttime, as far as I know, doesn't really affect the behavior of life in this game. I haven't seen a distinct change. It's actually fairly safe to go out at night, as long as you still know what you're looking at and doing. Here we go. Alright, so your scanner can scan. Good lord, 3 of them in one spot. That's horrible. Your scanner can scan life, certain inanimate objects, and certain minerals, materials. Jesus, guys, go away. Typically, there will be something that pops up. There we go. In the lower right corner, you might have seen it. It's right over here. It's this symbol of the scanner. Pops up, and it lets you know that you can scan something nearby. So whether it's something you already have or not, it'll let you know that you can scan something nearby.
New blueprint acquired.
And this is a counter, and that is a decorative item. There are plenty of decorative items in this game for your base. They do jack shit. They accomplish nothing, they do jack shit.
Detecting increased local radiation levels. Trend is consistent with damage to the Aurora's drive core, sustained during planet fall.
So, beacon manager. Rack, I've gone through it, I've seen what needs to be done. You do suffer from consuming double oxygen below 100 meters if you do not have a rebreather equipped.
creature discovered.
So keep that in mind if you're first starting out. Go. Get. Stupid thing.
Oxygen.
Get over it. I'm clicking on you 14,000 times. There we go.
Discovered.
Jeez. It is always a great idea when you go down to, when you go into a new spot, to make sure you know the way out of that spot. Because I have died a few times from running out of oxygen. So pay attention. It'll help you survive longer. This is a gasopod. It is not hostile, but it has a defensive measure, dropping those gas pods. And those will hurt you enough. So just leave them be.
Oxygen.
Minorly, but it did. Another one. Ow. Okay. So, despite what the game tries to convince you of, you can actually kill everything in the game. Most of it, though, is just, it's gonna take a while. Kidding me? A third one? Oh god. Went right past it. Alright. Explains that. So the crash fish
Oxygen.
Crash fish holder, the plant itself, it's a plant with a life form that explodes. So the plant can be killed with 3 swings if you hit it in the right spot. You'll see the yellow blood or whatever it is come out of it, which is your indication you've hit it correctly. And I would actually recommend that you do get rid of these things. Sulfur plants, there we go. Because if you come back and start cave diving on it, or in the same spots, unless you have a stasis rifle, not really something you want to deal with over and over. Damn, come on.
Oxygen.
The crash fish mostly are part of the safe shallow cave systems. I could do it. I saw the spots. There we go. Okay, this is a creature egg. Biggest use is for bioreactors. Otherwise, mostly just decorative. You can straight up ignore it if you so want. You will not lose
Oxygen.
anything really by ignoring it. There is no achievement or reward for getting every entry in the database for this game. Just a lot of lore for either the planet and its life, or the characters, company, and universe. I'm mostly scanning all this stuff just because I don't want to keep seeing the scanner symbol show up when I don't want it to. So if I'm running around in a wreck, or swimming around in the wreck, correction, and the scanner symbol keeps popping up for something I could scan, but it's just a creature that I could scan at the beginning of the game, I don't really want to deal with that when I'm supposed to be trying to find other things. Shuttlebug, it is not usable for food, and it's harmless otherwise.
Oxygen.
Okay. By the way, welcome to Full Play Fraturday. I'm playing Subnautica. Yes. Vine. You can cut the creep vine. You can eat the creep vine samples, or you can use it for creating fiber mesh, mostly. Sea glide fragments, not needed. It's the big thing. Go. You may notice that I'm not picking up everything I see. Starting at the game, storage is going to be your biggest enemy. Items that you drop don't disappear, as far as I know. The game does keep track of them. But why really go through the hassle? So, let's see. Mesh, cell, fish.
It is common for those accustomed to synthetic foods to be repulsed by eating an animal carcass. Remember that humans survived this way for millennia. You can too.
Trap. Eat. Alright. Let's see. Computer chip, wiring kit, battery. And silicone. Okay. I got that. Okay. Tools, there we go. So, a repair tool will work on vehicles
Lifeboat secondary
and
systems are
those
running
hatches.
environment diagnostic and outputting results to databank.
This is an error. Distress signal received. Rescue operation will be dispatched to your location in 9 hours. Continue
Yep.
to monitor for emergency transmissions from
You
other
are
life
screwed.
pods.
Okay, standard OT tank. Excellent.
New blueprint acquired.
Air pump. Floating air pump with the pipes. Mostly for starting out, if you don't know what if you're going through this game without a guide, you definitely want to take advantage of the pipe with the air pump. If you do know kind of what you're doing, then it's, for me, my first game I used it once, my second game I never touched it at all. Third game I brought it back, but only because I was just trying to have a little fun and see what I could do with it. I'm not using it in this game. It's not viable, really. Most cave diving in this game can be made a lot easier when you have your first vehicle. So it's just not worth the resources. Okay, did grab that. That at least spheres in space. I will use it eventually. Alright, so glass, titanium. Yes, alright, so this. And as far as I can tell, it does seem like the locations of all the crash fish and your resource deposits seem to be scripted. I picked up silver ore. There we go. Silver ore. That. Oh, I have lead. I picked up lead. Awesome. Lead is good. Go high capacity oxygen tank. So now my oxygen capacity is at 135. Alright. And let's see, fiber mesh, cooked fish, ink, pathfinder tool, grav trap. That. Right. Next I need more tools. Rebreather, so wiring kit, which is 2 silver ore, and fiber mesh I have. And then tools, I need wiring kit, so that's 2 more silver ore, computer chip, I have gold, 2 copper, battery, alright, so I need to go to, yes. Yeah, alright. This way. I'm gonna top off my water first, I suppose. Rabbit ray, it's non-hostile and not usable. Just a life form. The grav trap fragments that you scanned allows you to build a grav trap, and the grav trap will pick up small objects. It's basically a fishing device. You place it in the water and it will trap small fish. It's also a good idea to go around with at least 2 med kits on you. Just in case. It should be this way if I remember correctly. There is sandstone slash, what was it, basalt chunks in the caves, but the caves are also filled with crash fish, so unless you have a lot of health packs, medkits, cave diving is not a viable option. It's a poor choice. So, I recommend for gold, silver, lead that you go to the grass place, this thing right over here, area, and just check out the pillars in the water. Oh, nice. Sandstone. There we go. So sandstone. Big one here. And there should be plenty of chunks on these pillars. You may find some on the floor, the ground, but there's also the tiger sharks. Tiger sharks like to. Tiger sharks. Tiger. Yeah, I think tiger sharks. That thing. Not actual Earth-based tiger sharks, but they like to hide in the sand.
Short-range scans suggest this biome supports
and ambush
biodiversity
their prey.
and connects to
So it's not a
small cave
great
networks.
strategy to go just wandering around there. They'll do like, I think it was 20 to 30 damage per bite. And they really do not care if you're running away from them. They'll pursue you for a while. But keep in mind, there are... That thing right there, that is a tiger plant. I'm sorry, that's a sand shark. That thing over there. That's a tiger plant. And that will shoot projectiles at you, and it shoots them pretty fast. And they're fairly accurate, not perfectly. If you just keep moving, it can't keep up with you. But they can easily kill you if you're not paying attention. It's down here, so reactor fragment, take that. There's a little fish that swims around here. It's called a bleeder. Yeah, there's one over there. Just made a mess out of those fish. There's one right there. Biter, sorry. And they don't do a lot of damage, but they don't really give up either. Fragment. I will absolutely take that.
Integrating new PDA data. New blueprint, 30 seconds.
Ow. Jerk. Yeah, I wasn't gonna do this on hardcore until I saw that it mentioned, yeah, no oxygen warnings, and I go, haha, fuck that. I like a challenge, but I don't like suicide. Okay. So, I think I picked this clean. This thing here says that you have a message on your radio. So it's always good to go and check on that every once in a while. Or, especially when it shows up, go make sure you check it.
Caution. Continued degradation of the Aurora's drive core may result in a quantum detonation. Continuing to monitor.
Another one. Go, here's something useful. Seamoth, which is your first vehicle. Silver, excellent. Lead is very useful. It's mostly for either radiation or reinforcements of your base. Sorry, radiation protection or reinforcing your base. Give me this real quick. There we go. That is a reefback leviathan, is what it's called. It is completely non-hostile, which is nice. But beware, on its back, tiger plants have a habit of living there. So... yeah, I think that might be one right there. Back to the life pod now, and along the way look for more sandstone. But should be set the stuff that I need right now. Ooh, scanner room fragment. Gimme, gimme, gimme. Oh, and all of the wrecks in the game are scripted on what they offer to you. Their locations and so on. It's all predictable from game to game. Unchanging from game to game. Perhaps is a better way of saying it.
30 seconds.
Okay. And for the most part, if you hang out at the surface of the water, nothing's really gonna come after you unless it's already been chasing you. And it's a super aggressive monster or creature. Trying to think, there's only, yeah, I think only the kelp forest and the crash zone are where it's inadvisable for to do that. Kelp forest because the fragment, the stalkers will move around so much that they go to the surface quite frequently. And the crash zone because the thing that likes to live there is the crash zone is a fairly shallow area as it is, and the main thing that lives there doesn't really give a shit one way or another what you're doing, and will just come after you anyways. Let's see what big miniature. That one, no, that one. So I just got this. Yes, it is a very good idea to mark off what wrecks you've already visited, because it saves you time and effort later if you ever go back to them. You should absolutely visit every wreck that you find, because you typically will find technology or blueprints that you can take advantage of, and many of which you're going to need. Accurate. Slippery. Ha! That water. I swear this thing has moved. Yeah, wasn't it over there? No, that's right. It was right next to this water. Yeah, your your life pod spawning location varies from game to game. But
This is Life Pod 3, uploading our coordinates. We're plugging some holes in our emergency sea glide, so if we're late for the rendezvous, don't panic.
It's
Also,
can change from game to
don't go
game,
home
but
without
it always spawns in the
Seriously.
Seychelles.
3 out.
Signal location
So you're not
uploaded
at
to
risk.
PDA.
That way. Yeah. Yes, so I needed... Okay. Table coral. Sample. Coral. Sample. Grab. Copper, gold. And all that. This. Beacon. Beacons are actually fairly usable for your first playthrough, at least until you start memorizing coordinates, or if you write them down by pressing, what was it, F1? Yeah. So your camera world position is U, which is a great way of keeping track of where you are if you're you need to find something and you have no idea where it is, and you look on the wiki and it's like, great, it's at these coordinates, and you go, well, how the hell do I find those coordinates? Well, press F1 and find out. Okay, so wiring kit, copper wire, computer chip, wiring kit.
New blueprint acquired.
Okay, personal equipment rebreather. Excellent. So that allows me to breathe normally under 100 meters. And personal tools. Habitat builder. Battery. Okay, so store this, store that, store that. Mushrooms and that. Advanced rank. Okay, yeah. Battery. And then habitat builder.
The builder, too, is designed to construct habitats capable of withstanding extreme environmental conditions.
Now to find my wiring kit. Beacon. Okay. Commander cell. The Aurora is on the full map. The Aurora is placed towards the southeast of the map, and it can be seen from almost anywhere on the any position on the map at surface level. So I'm actually way south. Yeah, that's... Okay, so... Yeah. So my favorite spot, or a very useful spot to build a base, is over in this direction. Did I seriously just find it first try? Yes, I did. Awesome. So there's a heat area. That's what it's called. just below us. You go too far down, it'll start damaging you slowly, minorly, but it will damage you. But you get technology later in the game that can take advantage of that heat and give you power for it, and it's a decent amount of power. So I like to build my base pretty close by, but keep in mind that it's right between Kelp Forest here and Kelp Forest here, so the stalkers might come meandering over every once in a while to go, hey, what's this stuff? So I think over here safe enough. Foundation. What about? Yeah. There we go. That's just a marker for me. I believe in an earlier version of the game, the life pod actually kind of followed you around a bit. It was a very strange thing. Honestly, I'm kind of glad that they removed that feature.
Pod 6. I have a passenger on board. Coordinates attached. We've landed a kilometer from the crash site, but there's radiation in between us and the rendezvous. Request immediate assistance. 6 out.
Signal coordinates corrupted. Approximate transmission origin recorded to data bank.
See, every once in a while you get a distress call and a picture will be sent to you, and you gotta try and figure out the location from that. It's kind of obvious. I was just in that kind of area, so. On the map, this is one continuous forest, that's one forest, that's one forest. So I think there's like 4 kelp forests. There's 2 or 3 separated shallow areas, safe shallows. There's a grassy, what do they call this? Not a grass forest. Grassy shallows? Not sure they'd be called shallows. It's grass something or other. There's 2 of those. There's 2 of another biome, and then
Congratulations, survivor. You have exceeded your weekly
half copy of one more biome, and then everything else is their own separate thing.
Swimming was your favorite activity. Be sure to vary
and they
your
get progressively
intensive
more
muscle
intense
development.
and scary and threatening as you go on. Yeah, my first playthrough this game, I did not play it with the lights off. I'll put it that way. In my own room, playing this game, I did not play this game with the lights off. That's how intense it got. So, full congratulations to the developers for making me feel unsafe in a video game, or in my own home playing a video game. But, yeah, there are times when it's just more appropriate to just say, screw the developers, you guys suck. Right, okay, that's what I need to work on next. Alright, so... that way. I'm not actually sure if it's faster to swim at the surface or underwater. I've never really tried measuring it. But, if you do have the Sea Glide, I do know that it doesn't function above the water. It'll turn off as noticeable. So you'll just swim normally at the surface. Dude, rude. Whoa. That's way north of where I wanted to be. There's something I need.
New blueprint acquired.
Okay. Thank you.
New blueprint acquired.
There we go. In here. So data boxes you'll find every once in a while, specifically in most wrecks. You'll find
intake recommended.
typically at least one normally in a decent sized wreck.
Stabilizing.
And some life pods will have
Integrating new PDA
data boxes. There we go. And was that one? Okay. You should definitely pick up every data box you come across. Oh, grab 1, 2, 3. Okay, fine. Now back towards my pod.
New blueprint acquired.
Yeah, that's okay. Alright.
Warning. Local radiation readings suggest the Aurora's drive core has reached critical state. quantum detonation will occur within 2 hours.
Oh, yes, it will. Back here. So, let's see. Okay, so you can turn metal salvage into titanium, and I recommend that you do that whenever you have the opportunity.
Lubricant is essential in construction of vehicles and power plants.
Glad I grabbed that third one because I actually did need it. Alright, we got this titanium ingot, power cell, which means battery, and power cell, deployable. You make it. Okay. There we go. There's that. This. That. Ha 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 ha. That's what it's supposed to look like, and not the junk that we've been finding. Okay, and now. Here we go. Battery and copper wire. Okay, so wire. Battery. Excellent. Sea glide
will increase your effective exploration range. For your safety, please pack supplies for long journeys and stay within 5 kilometers of the nearest life pod or habitat.
Okay. That and that. That way. Okay, so the mobile vehicle bay is deployable. The bigger the thing it deploys, the deeper the water needs to be. And if you want to pick it back up, yeah, just stand right about here and look down. And you can pick it up. But the reason you have it is because it has the fabricators right here, and they are part of the system. And they pop out of those floats. Okay. But now that I have my sea glide, nutrient block, I'll get some water, some first aid kits. Something that you typically find out later in the game, but honestly you should do first thing, and it's kind of bullshit that you can't see it from the safe shell anywhere on the map. There are 2 land masses in this game, and one of them you need to go. Well, both of them you need to go to. One of them you should go to almost immediately. So where is? There we go. Damn it! Get back here. There we go. That's you. And one more. There we go. Message.
Land re-recorded. Distress call.
This is Officer Keene in Light Pod 19. The captain is gone. I have assumed command. The last thing the captain did was give me coordinates for dry
there we
land.
go.
We regroup 1.5 kilometers southwest of the crash site. Stay together and good luck. This message will now repeat.
Rendezvous coordinates corrupted. Transmission origin coordinates downloaded. Signal location uploaded to PDA.
So, what was that? Subnautica. 1,100 meters away at a depth of 300 meters. Not impossible, but not feasible. So yes, the location. If you get the compass, your dot on the map will become an arrow, so it'll show you which way you're pointing when you bring up the map. Otherwise, there'll be a that little depth meter up there, top here, will have a compass attached to it, and it'll show you which way you're going. But yes, you need to go this way. And that is what I will do in the next video, because I'm about at an hour now. So I'm going to go ahead and call this video here. And yeah, this is Subnautica. It's the deeper you go, the more terrifying it gets. That was the idea, and they pulled it off brilliantly. So we will see if my sanity holds anyways. So thank you for joining me for this video, and hope you come back for more. And I hope you enjoyed the video. But until next time, take care.